Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So tonight I want to talk about Polygon and Ethereum and why it may be better to buy Polygon at this point than Ethereum. I'm going to make a compelling case for that argument. So let's discuss. Thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel, two streams almost every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest news, article, and guides at CryptosRUs.com. Welcome, guys. I know that this morning, where's my screen here? Let me get my screen up. This morning, I know a lot of you guys are feeling down, feeling like Bitcoin will never recover and somehow betrayed you. Well, hopefully you guys took a step back, took a breather, realized that Bitcoin is still in the same range. It will always, I shouldn't say always, same range that it's been since the beginning of the month. And you can see that it did have a good bounce right off of this line, this bottom trend line, about 47.2. And since then, it's been hovering a little bit above, right? So unfortunately, we didn't get that huge rally that we were looking for, but know that we will get through this. And here's a good, friendly reminder. I saw this tweet and I chuckled. So this is according to John W. Rich, fake tech exec. Bitcoin is only up 73% in 2021, barely beating inflation. So that's funny on many different levels. But it does put things in perspective, right? A lot of people tend to only look at Bitcoin after it has fallen from its top, but no one ever looks at, well, how much has it risen from the bottom, right? At the beginning of 2021. So Bitcoin is still up 73%, and this run is definitely not over. And in fact, according to Jesse Olson, well, he thinks that, you know what? We may be bouncing. We may be bouncing from this point. Now, this morning, I did make an argument or a theory or speculated that some of the sell-off is due to wash trading and due to tax loss harvesting, which for crypto makes a whole lot of sense. And it could still be done all the way up until the last day, right? So it makes sense that a lot of people that made a tremendous amount in 2021 would take advantage of that. Now, I've been reminded by many people, I just want to clarify that if you don't have any capital gains, you've made zero, then your total deduction from capital loss is only $3,000 per year in America. So if you lost, let's say $10,000, well, you get $3,000 worth of deduction first year, and then it carries $3,000 the following years, okay? That's if you have zero capital gains and you are at a capital loss. However, if you have a tremendous amount of capital gains this year, $5,000, $10,000, $100,000, and $1 million, right? That's where tax harvesting and utilizing wash sale could really offset that. Not that I'm advising you guys to do that, nor am I a tax advisor, but I do think that some of that is going on right now, and some people have told me that they're also taking advantage of what's going on right now, right? So just wanted to let you guys know the Bitcoin is still kind of hovering, right? We will get past this, but there may be some of that tax loss harvesting going on right now. But the fundamentals is still growing, has never been better, and adoption and awareness is going to continue in 2022. Okay, so just want to lead off with that. All right, now let's talk about the main topic, Polygon and Ethereum, right? So if you look at, besides BTC, you go to CoinMarketCap, let's do refresh here, right? Ethereum is sitting at number 2, 454 billion, and has a over 20% dominance. That's enormous. And Ethereum has been gaining on Bitcoin throughout 2021. And year to date, you could see that Ethereum is actually up even more, 422%. So Ethereum definitely had a pretty good year. And I've been stressing that, hey, you can't go wrong buying and holding both Bitcoin and Ethereum. However, one layer 2/layer 1 has been making a ton of traction recently, and for an entire year, you could see that Polygon, which used to be called MATIC, but their symbol is called MATIC, is up 14,000% this year. Last 90 days, 125. Last 30 days, 55%. Last 7 days, still up 4% despite yesterday and today's decline, right? Sitting at number 14, and the market cap is much lower. $18 billion with a dominance of less than 1%. So, is Polygon at this point a better buy than Ethereum? Well, let's take a look. First of all, just to give you guys a real quick, rundown of what Polygon is and why I call it layer 2, now turned layer 1, because Polygon was created as a layer 2 solution. And a lot of you guys have heard of some of these newer layer 2s like Arbitrum and Mutable X, right? They're layer 2s. And Polygon started as a layer 2 too, because congestion and fees were always a thing. It's not a recent thing. It's always been a thing. In 2017, 2018, it was congested too. That's why you had someone like Polygon come out, right? It's EVM compatible, meaning it's Ethereum virtual machine compatible. Also, it's Solidity compatible, which is the programming code with Ethereum. And it's just a faster, cheaper way for Ethereum dApp makers to scale and to run their dApps without worrying about congestions and fees. So that's what a layer 2 is. And there's tight integration of Ethereum, of course. It's the same, basically same tokens, right? However, Polygon over the years have been building out the ecosystem. They've been drawing so many dApps, not just dApps from Ethereum, but just dApps that's just on top of Polygon. So they have a vast number of dApps that's running on top of them right now. So that's why I think they turn from layer 2 to layer 1, because honestly, they are a layer 1. They could survive on their own and they're thriving, right? But there's a lot of interesting things going on in Polygon right now, so I'm going to present them. First of all, let's take a look at this. This kind of surprised me. This came out about a week ago on CryptosRUs.com, the best crypto news publication out there, in case you don't know, CryptosRUs.com. But according to this, data shows that Polygon already has more token deployments than Ethereum. So how is that possible? That means right now there are more projects onboarding and creating their own tokens on top of Polygon than Ethereum. That is wild. For a layer 2 that's meant to supplement Ethereum, has surpassed it in terms of new token deployments. That's a pretty big milestone. Okay, so this happened recently, but that's not the only statistic. So if you look at total transactions, of Polygon versus Ethereum, Polygon has basically 3x the number. So right now, on a daily basis, Polygon gets about 3.2 million transactions. Ethereum about 1.2. So almost 3 times as much. So that also shows you how much, how many dApps or how much it's being used, right? Contract deployments of Ethereum versus Polygon. Well, this is just crazy. There's 33,000 contract deployments right now versus 1,200 on Ethereum. So the number of smart contracts on top of Polygon is absolutely exploding right now. And here's the thing, and take a look over here, daily gas, right? So you can see the purple is Polygon and the teal is in Ethereum, and you can see how Ethereum gas has been going down recently. I kind of mentioned this yesterday. And look at Polygon's gas is going up, right? But don't let that deceive you, because take a look at this. For December 27th, $27 million worth of gas fee was paid in ETH, but only 81,000 in MATIC. And that's because MATIC is a lot more scalable, doesn't have the same kind of congestion problems, so gas fees is not as prevalent, right? But you could see how there's a stark contrast between the two, and how gas fees is going down on Ethereum while it's going up with Polygon, also showing the usage. So right now, you can see there is a ton of usage, a ton of things going on Polygon right now, and it even surpasses Ethereum in many different ways. So these are just hard statistics, but what about other things, right? Of course, you do have a lot of these dApps moving over. For example, Uniswap, which is the biggest AMM, biggest DEX out there on top of Ethereum. Those of you guys have used it know that you're paying $100 in gas fees, at least $100 to $150, whatever you make any kind of trade, or if you want to, participate in one of the pools, right? It's very, very expensive. So Polygon Uniswap has been held back by that for many years until now. So now they're utilizing Polygon. And the number of transactions for Uniswap exploded afterwards because now you could take advantage and the fees have dropped substantially. So there's a lot of dApps on top of Ethereum right now that's swapping over, moving to Polygon for that very thing, which is why Ethereum, Polygon transactions going up, and possibly why Ethereum transactions is going down and gas fees are going down. Of course, Polygon has been making huge strides recently, purchasing a scaling startup Mir for $400 million, ZK rollups, and this is meant to scale Polygon even more. And this is not the only one that's in ZK rollup. There's another one they purchased for about $250 million. So that's two projects, nearly $1 billion that they spent to scale themselves even more, to make themselves even more efficient, faster, and even less gas fees. And they recently partnered up with Reddit. They created a $200 million fund to go after social and gaming, right? And these are the two of the hottest niches right now in crypto, and Polygon, of course, is in that. Obviously, Reddit looks like they want to get involved with blockchain, right? Who knows? If they're going to come out their own token, they're going to come out their NFT marketplace. I think that's been rumored. Guess where it's going to be on top of Polygon, most likely, right? So that's pretty tremendous for Polygon. Also, VCs are starting to look at Polygon as a real thing. We know VCs already invested in Ethereum because they're the big boy, right? But VCs are also looking at others like Polygon because there's so much going on right now, right? So according to this, investors are looking to purchase between $50 to $150 million worth of MATIC tokens. And that's important. And I'll get to that in the very end because that's one huge advantage that Polygon has also over Ethereum. Now, besides these things, what else is there? Well, they're very involved with NFTs and gaming already. For example, DraftKings, which has an NFT marketplace, which also has the endorsement of Tom Brady and many others, right? Hey, that's on top of the Polygon network, okay? Also, a lot of you guys didn't know OpenSea is also compatible with Polygon too. So if you're trying to mint an NFT on OpenSea and you think it's just too expensive, well, you could choose to mint it on Polygon network, and basically it's almost free. Unstoppable Domains also, their NFT domain names, they're also on top of Polygon too, and many others are on top of Polygon. And what about metaverses and gaming? Well, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Decentraland, which was on top of Ethereum, suffered the same kind of congestion and fee issues. Well, they decided to partner up with Polygon and utilize Polygon as a side chain to make it cheaper and faster. And it's not just Decentraland, other promising platforms and gaming, games in general, like Vulcan Forge is on Polygon, Avagachi is on Polygon, Terra Virtua is an NFT marketplace on Polygon. There's another one I never heard of, Neon District, right? But I think the big name obviously is Decentraland, which also partnered up with Polygon recently. So you could see there's just a lot of dApps and platforms and makers that's coming on board. Okay, now from a technical standpoint, there are many chartists that are looking at Polygon and equating it to the same kind of movement that Ethereum went through in 2017 when it really exploded upwards, right? So here's a good comparison. Ethereum in 2017 and how it had 3 legs, and Polygon is still kind of in that second leg phase. It looks like it may consolidate, right? And then it could do that third leg at the end of the cycle, which is probably in 2022. So this also very, very, I think very bullish. Also here, someone, the mayor of MATIC, fitting name, is comparing the MATIC dominance and basically MATIC's movement versus Bitcoin and Ethereum. And you could see that ever since it broke out of this triangle, it's been gaining on Bitcoin, and also it's been gaining on Ethereum too. And that's because recently MATIC has been really, really, really on fire. Now, 2 last things I want to talk about. And this is important. This is very, very important, in fact. One of the reasons why Ethereum has done so well is because of its deflationary nature now. Ethereum itself is not deflationary. You could see that the circuit supply here, 118.9 million ETH out there. This number will keep going up. There is no set limit on Ethereum, but it's deflationary because of EIP 1559, caused a lot of burning. A lot of ETH is also staked in Ethereum 2.0 beacon chain, which you cannot remove. And of course, you have hundreds of billions locked into DeFi projects and others on top of Ethereum. You combine all that together, it's making Ethereum deflationary, right? But guess what? Polygon is deflationary also, and you could argue it's even more deflationary, and that's because Polygon does have a set supply. Polygon does not have infinite supply. So you could see that 72% of the circulating supply is already out, and there is a max supply. So this is a big difference between Polygon and Ethereum. One that will infinitely inflate, where Polygon will not. And on top of that, guess what? They're also introducing EIP 1559. They've introduced it to their testnet, and they soon will release it onto their mainnet. What does this mean? Well, just like EIP 1559 for Ethereum, based on congestion or usage or transactions, Polygon will be burning MATIC tokens, right? So the more usage, the more transactions that I've showed you, right, that occurs on top of Polygon network, the more of this is going to be burned. And if you put that on top of a set supply and a growing ecosystem with their DeFi and everything else I've mentioned, right? Well, that's going to make Polygon really, really, really deflationary if you think about it, right? So that is also one big difference between Polygon and Ethereum. So there you go. So that's my argument. Polygon right now looks like a tremendous buy to me. Now, this does not mean that Ethereum is garbage, that you should sell all your Ethereum and go with Polygon, right? No, it does not mean that at all. Ethereum, like I said at the beginning, I think it's still one of the best holds and a must hold based on all portfolios. But I gotta say, after studying and doing more research on Polygon, it's making me more bullish on them. And I do think that they're gonna have a tremendous 2022, and they're gonna keep executing and growing, and it's just gonna help them in the long run, right? So you guys know I love my L1s. I talk about Solana, Binance Coin, Avalanche, Terra a lot, right? But yeah, my newest favorite L1 has to be Polygon, even though I talked about Polygon when it was MATIC back in 2017. I talked about them early on this year, but man, they're just doing all the right things right now. So I'm really, really bullish on Polygon. So there you go. There you go. Okay, outside of that, that's really it. I think Polygon is really good, but today we're seeing red day for most altcoins and Bitcoin because of what's been going on since yesterday and today. But again, I like to stress, don't panic. Stay calm. DCA if you can. and most importantly, HODL. We will get through this. We always do, right? And I think 2022, we're going to see a lot more goodness come our way. All right. So there you go. There you go. Now let's do some Q&A. What? All right, scrolling up. Someone is claiming Charles took a cardo dump on y'all. That's pretty clever, although that's not true. Let's see, what else is there? Ally Yangzer says it's all about the battle of L1s. That is the case. That is the case. If anything, I would label 2021 the year of the L1s. It's really the year where all the L1s really started catching on fire, and mostly because of usage. It's 2021 is very different than 2017. It's very different. 2017, things were being speculated left and right? Everyone was making money, so they were putting their money into new ICOs, and those ICOs were just, coin offerings, fundraising, but nothing was really developed. Nothing was complete. There was not a whole lot going on, right? Fast forward 4 years later, now there's a whole lot of stuff going on, which is why these L1s have done so well. And I think that it's going to continue because we know DeFi, Web 3.0, GameFi, SocialFi, NFTs, they're going to keep going and get bigger and bigger. So L1s are definitely my favorite projects, right? Besides Bitcoin. I mean, I'll never give up on Bitcoin. But this is also a reason why that I feel bad for people that are stuck being a Bitcoin maxi, all right? Not to say anything bad about them, but there's too many Bitcoin maxis that refuse to look at anything else and just says everything is shitcoin and it's diluting from Bitcoin. But if you look at it, Bitcoin and these L1s are not competing. They're separate. One is the greatest store of value, and the others are technology, foundations, operating systems, right? The two are very separate. So that's why you want to be diversified, right? You don't want to just stick with one or other. I mean, you could just stick with Bitcoin, I guess, but you're going to lose out on a lot of substantial gains from the L1s and other projects. Andrew asks, I FOMOed to Link at 42. Should I buy more to cost average down and wait it out, hold on, and spend somewhere else? Well, I'm still a big supporter of Link. There's not a whole lot going on with it, not a whole lot of excitement. But Chainlink is the biggest oracle out there. It will always be, I believe, because no one else is close, right? So I believe that they will continue forward. They'll continue on, right? It's just that you got to be patient with them. So right now at 21, it's about half of what you got into. So if you did DCA a little bit, you could bring that cost average down quite substantially, right? So if you are eyeing other projects, there's nothing wrong with that. But DCA into something that has fallen 50%, well, that's going to bring your cost average down quite a bit. So there you go. Let's see. Mac Zulu says, sorry, George, ETH is doing well because they're holding their investors hostage. If it wasn't for the staking, ETH will be at 1,500 value, and that's fair. No, you're absolutely wrong. You're probably salty because you staked into Beacon Chain and you didn't realize you couldn't take it out. But as big as the Beacon Chain is in terms of the locked-in value, it's nothing compared to everything else that's going on. So, no, that's not the reason at all. Elon is not going to be bumping Shiba. Although I prefer if he got into Shiba rather than Doge, but I don't think that's the case. I don't know what Iris that is. Will you be drinking, drunk, live streaming New Year's Eve? I don't know. I don't know about that, but I do plan on having a New Year's party So we'll see. We'll see. Your thoughts on CRO? Well, CRO is one of the best performers of this year too. It's been doing fantastic. And I do like them. I do like them a lot. Unfortunately, the Lakers are just sucking right now. If the Lakers weren't so bad, I think Crypto.com coin would actually do better. I honestly believe that. I think it's just the Lakers are doing so bad right now. IoTX, I mean, they're interesting. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to them, but they're all about IoT devices. A whole chain dedicated to IoT devices. And they could scale. They're very fast. But outside of that, you know, I don't know how robust their ecosystem is. I know they have a couple products out. That's about it. Let's see. What about VeChain? VeChain has some good stuff going on. They're starting to get these consumer-based stuff like dApps and DEXs and so forth, right? So I think VeChain will, again, be good. Will be a good hold and continue on in 2022. What about Rubik? Used it, loved it, wants to know. Rubik is a great... I've covered them many times in the past. They're a really good multi-chain, a cross-chain DEX. But that is what they are. They're a tool, a DEX, right? And DEXs don't do that well, generally speaking. So that's the thing. If they get a ton of people to stake Rubik, right, that will definitely cause them to go up. But right now, they're more like just a tool, and not a whole lot of people are investing in them. When is the burning go live for Polygon? I don't know. They didn't announce that yet. But they're testing on testnet, and if it's good, then it's going to be released soon. Are you loaded up on iOS to do the approved protocols like the rest of us? No one is. Don't pretend like anyone is stocking up because of that. I don't believe it. And I'm not familiar with it. Any thoughts on strong blocks? I don't know what strong blocks are. Or strong block. I don't know what it is. It doesn't even show up on here, Van. I have no idea. I'm sorry. But I do appreciate that. What are your thoughts on the new metaverse from Zilliqa? Do you think it's a big thing like sand? Or is the market getting saturated? Right now, every single major chain has come out with their own metaverse play. Whether or not they catch on, that's the question mark. Okay, yes, we have two big ones, decentralized sandbox, catch on with Ethereum. But some of these others that are coming out, there may be saturation, like you said. There may be fatigue, and they may not catch on the same way, right? So, Bruce, it's kind of a toss-up, right? I didn't hear about the new one on Zilliqa. I don't know what it's called, but you have a new one on Terra. You have a new one on Solana. You have a new one on Cardano. I mean, they're popping up left and right. So, still too early to call. Too early to call. Neil, I didn't pay attention to that, so I don't really any thoughts on it. What's your price prediction for MATIC in 2022? Well, it really depends on where to run, how long it lasts, and where it heads. How high is Bitcoin gonna go? But Bitcoin is gonna continue up past 100,000, 150,000, 200,000. There's no reason why Polygon can't be above $10 at that point. Polygon is, they're just growing and they're doing all the right things right now. So what else? $10 plus. What did I miss? I answered about IoTX already. The graph, also one of those useful projects that allows other projects to create APIs for data retrieval, right? It seems like it's very useful, but not very exciting or appealing or sexy. So it's kind of like that. So it's essential. Has done very well this year. It's at number 50, right? 3.2 billion. So they've done well this year, but they're not back to their high, and they tend to just, you know, not be a very sexy project. So not a whole lot of people are paying attention to them. Laker Nation says, Zilliqa will catch up. Trust and believe that. I wish they would. They're under $1 billion right now. So if you look at year to date, they're not really close to their previous high back in May or June, or no, I should say April and May. But they do have a lot of stuff going on. I interviewed Armit, which is one of the co-founders, right? They seem like they had a lot of stuff going on. From a technology standpoint, they may be a little bit behind because they can only scale 2,000 transactions per second, but it's more than enough right now. And they do have a lot of stuff going on, but they're just not, they don't have that network effect. They don't have that traction like these others, right? And that's the bottom line. And a lot of other L1s are in the same spot. People ask me about multivac all the time, and others that are smaller, Nulls, Energy, some of these other smaller projects. Why aren't they pumping? They have all the technology, right? And they do, but it's hard to get that network effect. You know, once you get it, you don't want to lose it. But it's hard to get it. Lakers are going to get JR, but LeBron won't let them. Yeah. All right, last few questions. Any thoughts on Costa? I just know that, you know what, the moon has been showing that quite a lot. You know, they tried to get me on board, didn't work out. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. I think there's a little bit too much hype going on right now with it. Rodrigo, I'm going to join you. What else is there? VeChain will dominate the world. Well, I don't disagree with that. They already dominate the supply chain space. They just need to get more, again, consumer-based apps, ones that people can use and stake and feel excited about. And that's what they're missing right now. But they're building that. So there you go. Update on DCA. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I missed it for a couple weeks, but I will do that tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. I will dollar cost average another $100 in the portfolio. Vishant says, will Link, ADA, DOT have similar growth to MATIC in 2022? Well, that's the $1 million question, right? If I knew exactly which ones would outpace the others, then I would just put all my money in there, right? But no one knows. So overall, spread out your buys. Spread out your buys and be diversified, right? I think Link, ADA, DOT, and Polygon, and many others are great holds. So just hold them all. Hold them all. CRO long, short term, I like them. I like them both. Both long term and short term. All right, guys. That is it. Overall, you know, Bitcoin is still kind of stuck in this range. We'll see what happens. Rest of this week. Friday, there's a huge, massive expiration. So that could play a part in why it's not moving. Also, the tax loss harvesting could play a part in that. But Bitcoin is still in this channel, in this, you know, range. So then not something to be worried about right now. Bitcoin will get past this. It always does. But today I wanted to talk about Polygon, and I think it's a fantastic project that has tremendous potential. All right, so smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.